One of the most common things that can be done to make content creation more enjoyable is to simplify the edit process. And the best way to simplify the edit process is to get a faster, easier workflow. Today, we're going to talk about control surfaces. That's a fancy word for things that you can use to help you control DaVinci Resolve. This is DaVinci Resolve over 40 in 30, day 25. So we're going to talk about control surfaces. And I know that seems like a fancy word, but basically these are things that you can do that replicate keyboard shortcuts and menu shortcuts that will just let the whole process go a heck of a lot quicker. Let me take you to this, and you'll see on my desk, I have a Stream Deck Plus, a Stream Deck XL, and a DaVinci Speed Editor. Now, going from this side, the DaVinci Speed Editor is designed specifically for DaVinci Resolve. The reason why I picked up the Speed Editor is because this guy retails for about $395. A pro license for DaVinci Resolve retails for $295. Let's call it $300, $400, right? So by spending the extra $100, I am basically getting a $400 controller that came with a full license of DaVinci. So you're either buying the controller and getting DaVinci Resolve for free, which is how they sort of market it, or I was going to buy the license anyway because I wanted to have the studio version because of the AI features that are built in, and spending an extra $100, it basically gave me a controller that even if I decided I did not want it, I could sell this guy on eBay for $200, $250. And a lot of people do this. It was highly suggested in the forums when I started reading about DaVinci over on Reddit and other forums like that, other communities. And so I went and I got the Speed Editor. Now, this guy is dedicated, whereas these guys can do other things, but we'll talk about more about that in a second. So let me break down why you want to control surface. For instance, if I press this button, it takes me back to talking to you. Sup, folks? How you doing? Aloha. Beautiful day in Hawaii, Nate, as we say. But I can just press this again and come right back down to here where you can see what I'm doing. Well, in DaVinci, I can use these keys on any of these surfaces to replicate commands that list inside of DaVinci. So for instance, if I'm in DaVinci, I press this red button, it will give me a full screen view of the timeline. If I want to replicate pressing Q, switching between the source footage and the timeline footage, I'm literally tapping here and here. Now, if I press these now, it's going to bring my DaVinci Resolve to the front because I have DaVinci Resolve open. But we'll talk more about why that makes a difference in just a second. Stick with me, stick with me. So let's talk about Stream Decks. These are two of the many types of Stream Decks that are out there. I'm going to take you to the Stream Deck page real quick and show you what the differences are. So the Stream Deck Plus is this guy right here in the middle, and you see that that comes in at $199. It has basically 8 keys, right? It does have a control surface in that little glass window area, and then you have the knobs that you can go there. They do make Stream Decks as small as 6 keys. They're really hard to find these nowadays. If you do find one, it'll probably be used and it'll be about $40. The 15 key, or the MK2 as they call it, is readily available at $150. And then the 32 key, which is what I have on my desk, is $249. So honestly, not that much difference from having the speed controller. There's also something known as the Stream Deck Neo, which is basically like the Stream Deck Plus minus the bottom half. And this is a very, very amazing piece. I actually like Stream Deck Neo. I just haven't picked one up yet. I probably will pick up one because I like to travel with a smaller Stream Deck. So even if I'm editing on the road and I don't want to carry the Speed Editor, I think it's still nice to have this. Also important to remember is that Elgato just recently came up with what they're calling the virtual Stream Deck. Now, this does require that you have a physical Stream Deck, but it will give you on-screen controls that replicate what a Stream Deck can do. I made a whole video about that. I'll link that up here in the top so that you can take a look at it. But virtual Stream Deck is good. The one thing you need to know about that is it doesn't, at this moment in time, replace a physical Stream Deck because you have to plug your Stream Deck in, I think every 15 to 30 days or whatever, just to reactivate that lock. Otherwise, it just shows up as locked and it makes the thing inoperable. Going back to here. Now, use cases for the Stream Deck, or I guess my positive things about the Stream Deck are they are fully customizable. I can make each one of these keys and knobs do whatever the heck I want. And I can put iconography on the front that makes it better for me. So I don't have to remember what they do in the beginning while you're training your muscle memory. You just kind of look at the different colors or the different screens and you can make it work. You can also sort of split it in half So if I am doing something, say in DaVinci, but then I'm doing some, say graphics work in Photoshop, I can make this side like Photoshop, that side DaVinci. I mean, it's fully customizable. Sky's the limit. You could do whatever you want. The thing about the the thing about the Speed Editor is it only works in DaVinci and DaVinci only. Period. Point blank in the story. It does one thing and one thing only. It does it extremely well, but right now, and it's been about 4 years, you cannot make it do anything else. These keys belong to DaVinci Resolve. As a matter of fact, if you try to do anything else, it just doesn't work. So that's important to know. A lot of people see that as a negative point of DaVinci. A lot of people see that as a negative point of the Stream Editor. I don't know if I would go that far. It does exactly what it does, and it does it extremely well. When I learned to edit on a real professional editor, I used the controller very much like this, but it was way bigger. The knobs are a little bigger. But the process to me, when I started playing with the Speed Editor, it just brought it all back to my brain like absolutely right away. Now, the last thing on the differences is, again, this will work with things like Ecamm, which I'm using to record this. You can use it for Photoshop, use it for the Finder. You can use it for all myriad sorts of things. As a matter of fact, when I click over here to the Finder, notice that my buttons changed because I have this thing set up to do various different actions. So for instance, if I press this button here, it would take a screenshot, right? If I press this button here, it's going to send the reply, mahalo with the shaka, because I probably typed that about 11,000 times a day. I got sick of typing it, so I made a shortcut key for that, right? These change different Ecamm profiles. This makes the screen larger and smaller. And again, as you change different applications, you can make it behave completely different. If I were to open a Final Cut, this automatically would change to the way Final Cut wants to work. So this can be used to do just about anything on your computer with both of these. Anything on your computer, they're not just completely stuck to DaVinci. When I click on Ecamm, it goes back to Ecamm mode. So I could go back to showing you my large melon while I discuss getting into the Speed Editor. The one thing, I don't know why I didn't think about this because I did it on my iPad, is the Speed Editor can be connected via the USB-C cable, but as I unplug it, it can also be connected via Bluetooth. So I am going to connect it Bluetooth right now because honestly, that cable is getting on my wee nerves, right? Actually, I won't bore you with that. Well, maybe I'll show it to you. I think it's cooler if I show you. Let's go here and go to system settings. And then we click over here on the Bluetooth section and we just scroll down to the bottom, Speed Editor right there, and simple right there. Just press connect. The Speed Editor shall connect, and then boom, now it's connected. Now we're going to jump over to Resolve and show you what the Speed Editor can do. It won't be a full tutorial, but you'll get an understanding of how it can speed up your workflow from the simple things that I show you today. Do know it's very important to understand that the Speed Editor is designed to work in the cut page. It can do some things in the edit page. Primarily, it functions in the cut page and the cut page alone. And yeah, that's another point of contention for people, but I wanted you to know that before you dove in and like, yo, it doesn't do what I thought it was going to do. So here we are in DaVinci Resolve. And as you can see, by moving the jog wheel back and forth, I can move the jog wheel back and forth. If I wanted to set like a in point or out point, let me come to the top of this clip and say I wanted this to start right here. I can set it in. I can come over here and set it out, right? You could do things like trim this position. So like hold this down and roll this clip back. That sort of trims it that way. If I came this way, I could trim it that way, right? I am able to undo what I just did. I can not even have to be on the exact cut line. I can hit the transition button. There's not enough space to do the transition. So let me hold the trim in and pull this area back a little bit. So if we were to click on that and then sort of trim this in point and then trim the out point a little bit, that'll have some space for the transition. Now it should allow me to drop a transition in. So I can put a transition in. I can control the transition duration by holding the button down and moving this here, right? If I decided I didn't like that, I can double tap to undo that until I get it all the way back, right? So that's cool things. You don't have to be exactly on the edge to get a transition in. And if you were unsure which transition to put, you could hold down the transition key and actually scrub through the many transitions that are available to you. So if I wanted to do cross dissolve, then I got me a cross dissolve. And again, I could adjust the duration. So these are things that are going to be a heck of a lot faster than pressing a bunch of keys, right? If I were to go to the source footage here at the top, I could come around and find another clip that I want to put on the top of this guy. So let's say we wanted the people walking on the beach, put that guy right there in the middle, and then we could just drop this guy on top by hitting the place on top. And now you see that it's down here in the timeline, which I think is also very cool, right? Again, you can press the button to get the full view. There's something that's called review that's sort of built in there. You have a difference between the jog and the shuttle. When you are cutting these clips, right? Like you're moving them back and forth. I want to get back to the timeline. So we're moving these clips back and forth and say I wanted to put another one on the top. I can hit the source and then I can scroll over. Let's get another wee clip. Scroll really quick because you can spin fast, which I think is quite amazing. So let's take this person right here, hit that person with a place on top, and then go back to the timeline. And so now I want to select this top clip. I can press 3, and now I have control over the top clip, right? So if I want to trim that clip, I could do it that way. Come here, hit that, scroll the out point back so that they sort of match, right? They can come back over here. And then if I want to get to the bottom clip, I would press camera 2, and that gives me action on the bottom clip there. So if I wanted to trim that sort of in, I can control that. Because that's something, you have multiple clips on the stack. You don't have to go and pick which one. You just use these 1, 2, and 3s to sort of move up and down if you have multiple things on the timeline there. I could come here, I could take this, press the split to split that. I can highlight this clip, press and hold to get move, and I can move her all the way to the front. And now she's the first clip. Or I can press hold and move her all the way to down here, and now she's the last clip. So if you want to reorganize sequences, you can do things like that. You're going to use this to control the up and down. There you go. So I can embiggen the interface by holding this and moving it up and down, right? You have that. If you have audio level, I don't have any audio on this particular track, so let's go and slap an audio down here. Put this at the beginning, and we're just going to drop this on, right? And if I needed to adjust the level of this audio, I could hold down the audio level thing and sort of quiet it up. That's a little loud. Let's make it softer. Right? These are things that are really going to speed up your time. You can go and hit the source clips, and let's roll back and get to the people over here with the fireplace. There you go. Let's say we want to insert them right there. You could do a smart insert. That's going to put it right there. And then, of course, we want to hit a little transition. I don't have enough space. So all I need to do is go back to my timeline, roll this back, right? And so you can trim your in and out point there. So we're going to trim the out point back, or you can do roll edits. I don't really have enough space there to do that either. But yeah, you can slip edit with this guy. Here, let me pick one that I've actually cut. So let me take this and split this clip here. And then we're going to, let's go and delete. I'm about to grab this to go and delete it, but you don't have to do that. I can just ripple delete that, right? And then if I want to get to my audio only, right, I can ripple delete that. And then now I have space to do a roll edit. So if I press the roll key, I should be able to move this back and forth, right? So you have that capability. You also have the slide function that you can slide clips back and forth that way, right? So again, this is just, it's just really cool. When you think about what this thing does, again, there's a lot more to this. We could go into this forever, be here all day. But I think it's a much faster way to work than doing it the regular way. When it comes to using a control surface to control your project, it's a matter of personal preference. I am lucky enough to say I have both. I will probably use a combination of keyboard shortcuts and the Stream Deck and the Speed Editor. when I'm traveling, it's definitely going to be a Stream Deck because it's smaller and easier. Again, the pro side of a Stream Deck is highly customizable. You can use it in Finder, Chrome, Safari, Zoom, Photoshop, Illustrator, Pages, Numbers, Keynote. Pick an application. You got Stream Deck things that you can do it. It controls Spotify playlists. I can even turn on and off the lights in my office using the Stream Deck, right? So those are some of the things that a Stream Deck brings to the table that the Speed Editor won't do. But the Speed Editor paired with my iPad at the coffee shop, fam, I'm in there like swimwear. I'm chopping it up. Speed Editor in one hand, pencil in the other hand, going to town, right? Speed Editor is something that I would be able to operate with my left hand while I keep my right hand available to work with the pencil. So Speed Editor plus iPad, quick, right? If I'm traveling, I might not want to take the Speed Editor. It depends on the trip. It depends on what I'm carrying. So in that case, I'll get a Stream Deck Neo, which is the tiniest Stream Deck, the $99 one, and take it with me. So it is going to be a personal preference, but I highly suggest you pick up some sort of control surface. And that, my friends, is going to save you a lot of time. And if you can shorten your edit workflow in any way, shape, or form, it will definitely make the process better for you. And you know what I say around here? I don't know who needed to hear that, but if it was you, let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, press the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and realize we only got like 4 more days left for this. So if there's anything I haven't covered so far, make sure you let me know in the comment section below so we can get it knocked out before we finish this series up. This has been a lot of fun learning DaVinci from the gate. And I am happy to say now I can have it. I am happy to say now that I have it added to my arsenal, so I can definitely edit in Final Cut or Premiere or DaVinci. And if you can edit in any one of the above, you can pretty much edit in the other. I think this is a very cool application. I am super stoked at some of the things it can do. I can't tell you right now my verdict on whether I would make the full switch from Final Cut. I have decades of use in Final Cut since like the minute that joint came out, plus being an ex-Apple employee. But we'll cover that on the last day. So stick around if you want to find out what my final verdict is. Right about now, the algorithm is going to show you another video they think you should watch, and I agree with them.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta keep quiet, maneuver in silence to let them in talk.